What is going on, Lunatic Fringe? Guys, we've reached that point where it is time to have a serious conversation about what is going on, because there's some great things happening, there's some not so great things happening, there's some oddities that are occurring, and the most important part is, are you, the Luna Classic investor, are you going to see some return on your investment? Now, it is my opinion that the answer to that is yes, you're going to see quite the rally. Why haven't you seen it already? Well, the guys that are in my comment section, the guys that comment all the time, hey, Bitcoin is dead. The people like that, the numbskulls, if you will, they're just a bunch of crybabies, okay? They've never made it through. Look, if they got time to post on my threads dumping on Luna Classic, let me assure you, smart investors, rich investors, successful investors, they don't do stuff like that. Okay, the people that are commenting down here about how they hate Luna Classic and how it's no good, they're what you might call losers. Okay, so we'll look at the losers and we'll laugh. We'll point at them and be like, but at the end of the day, they're irrelevant. They don't matter. Nobody cares. Nobody respects them. Everybody knows. Look, when you have enough time to go cry about something on a YouTube comment section, you're a loser. You lost. And we're all just pointing at you and laughing. That's all I can say about that. All right, guys, let's get into it. Let's talk about it. Let's see what's going on in this, because there's a lot of weird things that are happening, a lot of great things that are happening, but a lot of weird things. First, before we get started, make sure that you sign up at terracasino.io. The way that you help me out tremendously is by signing up to the places that I provide to you. Terra Casino, gracious enough to be a sponsor. You guys watch this video every single day. And so we should have 1,000 or 2,000 signups on terracasino.io. It doesn't cost you anything to do. If you do some wage-based gaming, fine. But you could be a winner of money that you can use in order to get on this platform. And by the way, if you decide that this is the risk for you, Multiplier Rush from June 25 to July 1st, giving away 5,000 euros per day. Bet and Win Weekly just got done with 125,000 in euros. We've got 1.126 million in euros being given away from now until August 17. And then just ended $11,000 per day. These guys are giving away phenomenal amounts of money. All you have to do is come give yourself the opportunity and play. And you can see right here, right now, that there are 7 different people currently playing, putting it. Somebody just did $100 wager, a $200 wager. Oh my God. All right, if you guys are balling out, you guys are balling out. Now, if you're trying to trade meme coins or utility coins on the Terra Luna Classic ecosystem, by all means, come use terraport.finance. This is the place. Now, look, this is the place where, guess what? If you want to trade Believe, you come over here, you hit degen mode, you type in Believe, guess what? Believe is in there. Now, the question is, what's the value on it right now? And remember, you know, at one point it was worth about 3 million. It was worth about 3 million lunk, so that was a pretty good number, right? Today it's worth 5 million lunk. Okay, so we're having nice gains. We're having big movements here. We're down 15% on the day, however. If you guys see that right there, I'm sorry, that's the price impact. Duh. Anyway, I think it was more yesterday. But 5 million today in Terra Luna Classic, and I mean, hey, that's a pretty good number. Again, I think that, you know, Terra Luna Classic, and by the way, everything that goes along with it is going to take off. So get yourself some Believe today. Terraport.finance. All you have to do is come over here. You can buy. By the fact, you can buy crypto by funding your wallet. So there's no more excuses. So become an investor in Believe today. By the way, it's meme coin. It's all it is. I don't have any utility. I don't have any plans. It's a meme coin. When the culture erupts, when, you know, crypto starts taking off, when people start finding my channel, guess what? They're going to find Believe. And they're going to, I don't know how high it goes. You know, if it goes to 1 million market cap, I'm ecstatic. Do you know what I mean? Right now, probably 50,000 market cap at best. So, you know, if it 20x's from here, thanks. You know what I mean? So let's see what happens. Now, Let's get into the news. Luna Classic price forms a risky pattern as weekly burn hits 365 million. Not so fast, my friend, because it's about to get real sucky on that regard. Coin data shows that the daily volume has dropped to just 9.4 million. Oh, it's going to get worse, signaling waning demand as overall crypto sentiment deteriorates. The same trend is visible in the futures market, where open interest has declined to 8.46 million from last month's high of over 15 million. Now, if you look at the top of something and you look at the bottom of something, then you obviously have an enormous gap. It doesn't sit at 15 million every single day. Remember, part of the reason for these articles is to kind of manipulate you and get you out of what you're comfortable with. Like, that's a weird thing for them to decide, oh, this is a great idea. So bear that in mind. Additional data shows that Lunk's weighted funding rate turned negative for the first time since June 24. Oh, so it hasn't been negative for, 6 days? Do you see what I'm saying? Just walk with me here. Walk with me in hell, as they say. There are signs that some investors are moving their Lunk holdings to exchanges, the first step before selling. Exchange inflows rose to 233,000 on Thursday. Lunk remains one of the most deflationary tokens in crypto history. Weekly burns have jumped to over 365 million, but what we're looking at, and this is what I tell you all the time, the daily chart shows that falling between 1790 and November 005, it was dropped below the 50-day and 100-day EMAs, a sign that bears are gaining momentum. And as a matter of fact, we're going to look at it from a different standpoint, but they are correct. There is some risk of a drop back down into that 5 range, and maybe even further. I've given you that. Now, let's talk about the good news. The good news is USTD, decentralized and fully automated yield-bearing stablecoin on the Terra Classic blockchain. This is the concept by Redline Drift, is what we've been talking about, and Rednix. So I'm going to encourage you to go over it and start to look at it. Every USDT is minted 1-to-1 against USDC, USDT, and the deposited collateral is deployed into low-risk, high-liquidity, decentralized pools. Approximately 20% APR is generated from these pools. Approximately 50% of the yield generated is distributed directly to USDT holders as USTD holders. You know what? God damn it. There's no way. I'm not going to catch a USTD. I think the name's going to have to be changed. If the fact that I'm chuckling every time I see that, that's a warning sign. That USTD, STD, USTD, that doesn't. We're going to have to change that name, first of all. But let's just keep going here. Unlike many yield-bearing protocols that require additional staking, UST protocol automatically distributes yield via regular on-chain airdrops. I'll take that. So USTD is introduced as a completely new stablecoin designed to fill the space of the currently defunct USTC. This initiative is both a fresh start with enhanced security, transparency, yield mechanics, and profit generation for Terra Classic, but also in long-run tools to revive USTC. USTD is fully integrated into Terra Classic's on-chain governance. All decisions, upgrades, and risk management affecting USTD are managed by the Terra Classic governance, ensuring alignment with the broader ecosystem. By being fully backed with regulated assets and operating on Terra Classic, USTD benefits from enhanced security and transparent reserve management. Fully compliant, it will be compliant with the US Genius Stable Act, the Stable Genius Act. Due to complexity and scale, will be subject to other changes during the design process and the final solution. In 2 weeks, a detailed proposal on the implementation will be presented and will be subject to a vote in the Terra Classic governance. So there you have it. And guys, this is the moment where you get kind of excited about what could be happening in the Terra Luna Classic ecosystem, because let's go back here and let's put a full scope on this so that you guys can feel where I'm coming from. Number one, you've got Terra Luna Classic just kind of listless, really, just at the whim of investors everywhere, right? Then you've got USTC, no purpose, no function, no use, no real reason to do anything with it. Now, that creates a paradigm problem. If you're an investor, you're incentivized to stay away from the Terra Luna Classic blockchain because there's no stability, okay? Well, you can't make money this way. What you're doing every single time is you're making a wild guess. Now, to give you an illustration of what we're talking about, remember, I had about 15 million Lunk in a wallet, and I split them in half. I put half into I had put half into USTC, and then I have half in Terra Luna Classic. Now, those numbers don't hold up now because I've done some different things with them, but you get my point, 15 million. As of right now, if I were to swap and I don't think that I made out. I don't think that I've won. Now, here's the problem. In many ways, I feel trapped in a risky in a risky trade. Now, how do I mean risky trade? Well, if we go to where I'm talking about, I'll give you a peek behind the curtain, if you will. So if I'm going to swap this over here, and then I'm going to turn this into USTC. So my USTC, I have 36,000 USTC. Now, and this was, by the way, 7.5 million. Today, 7.8 million. Well, there's a small tax for it, obviously, but that does mean I haven't made out like a bandit, okay? Which I thought would end up happening. Like, I really thought that maybe I could get into that 9 or 10 million range with that, and this would be just a very, very nice flip, but it wasn't. So, currently I have about 30 million Luna Classic. That's all. I'm not a whale. I'm not a big holder, but I have more than I started with. I started with 10 million. So in this time, I've accumulated up to 30. Okay, just for full disclosure. However, it's been very difficult for that trade to bear fruit. There's been no mechanism by which I've been able to pump my bag. Now I'm looking for a USTC breakout, and I just never got it. And I thought that it would happen. I'll show you on the charts, but here we are. So as far as meme coins, everything goes. Future Flare, real big dump here. Garuda X down about 5.5%. Juris down 2.5%. Terra up 3.6%. But remember, Terra was trading somewhere in the neighborhood of 205 not that long ago. So it's feeling the wane and the push down of what it is that we're doing over here. And on this time frame, we got to go back to the daily to kind of look at it from a deeper time frame here. And look, we're talking about it. We're wanting to get into it. I mean, look all the way over here. Like, we go all the way back here to we were almost at 10 cents at the beginning of 2020. Okay, so value sentiment in the Terra Luna Classic blockchain has just dwindled. Right. This is, and by the way, when I say that, this is your opportunity to get in where you fit in, if you will. I mean, if you just kind of look at it from this standpoint and say, well, I'm looking at it from a breakout. Well, it broke out. When it broke out, it took off. Right. We had a tremendous gain for a short period of time here from 003 all the way up to 008. So, 200, 300%. What we're looking at now is another descending sort of trend line here from this to this. And you see there's just a little break sideways. We haven't broken out above that. Now, what I would venture to say is that we most likely have a serious amount of resistance. It's going to happen in this range. By the way, we're talking about we're talking about Terra, by the way, because I think that there's going to be a breakout on it pretty soon. But there you go, right there. So we got about a 2x, a 3x. It's most likely to play out in short order. But I'm more intrigued by breakout up above, about a 2x from where that is, right there. You see that? That's a real, use that as support a couple of times, and use it as resistance a couple of times. That seems like a pretty good area right there, about 1.5 cents. So there's a significant possibility of a tremendous sort of breakout coming. Now, will it play out? I don't know. You never really know, what these things are going to do, but it looks like it's primed for a massive move. Now, to remember here, the reason that it hasn't broken out is because Lunk has not broken out, and we're still kind of waiting for that. So when that happens, that's when we'll see it. Now, as far as governance goes, I want to stop for just a moment. Normally, look, I'm trying to take the high road, but I want to thank you guys. I want to thank you guys for what you are doing. The reason that this matters to me is because I don't think that we should be held down by our validators. And let me show you the list of validators. I want to be perfectly upfront with you, and I want you to see that this validator is. Remember, this was the top 5. Still top 5, but I think they were top 3 at one point. But you can see here that the delegation has at least looks like it's kind of switched over there. And Vegas node. This is where I get into it, guys. This is where I thank you. Okay, Vegas has picked up 50 billion in staking. He's now number 2. Now, we're not always going to agree that Vegas wants what's best for the community. We're not always going to agree with that. Okay, we like Vegas, but anybody can do anything. Okay, but we gave Vegas more power. Somebody listened. Okay. and he's added 50 billion. He's now the number 2 validator. And look, he's even proposing that his voting power is too high and that what he would like to see would be, a cap at 5%. Okay, so and that's full disclosure. So, but we've given him more control and more authority to start doing something better, to be better, to guide, to move this blockchain. And by the way, just to give you just some clarity here, when you come down here, guess what you find? 25 billion taken out of Interstake and 34 billion taken out of Interstellar. Remember, Interstellar was one of them, along with Happy Caddy Crypto, that I told you are working to the detriment of this blockchain. Okay, now if you tell me I'm wrong, show me where I'm wrong. There's the chart right there. We're at the bottom. Show me where I'm wrong. Stop me when I'm telling lies. Okay? That's all I ever ask. I'm telling you that, in my opinion, when these guys vote, they don't vote for you. They vote for themselves. And I don't like that. Everything that they do, everything should be designed for you. And by the way, you, like me, you're probably a moron, okay? You're probably a big dummy. You probably have no idea. You're just like, fingers crossed, hoping for the best. That's a lot of what some of us are doing here. So I'm not saying that we're better or worse or anything like that, but, we don't know. What we know is this. Price action is what matters, right? And what are they doing? Well, they're not giving you price action. Nothing that they've done so far has given you price action, and they've blocked and stopped any sort of attempts at leadership, finding, in fact, that they don't want leadership. They want this to be a rudderless boat adrift with no oar, no way to right it if it messes up. I don't like that. I do not like that at all. I don't think that does you any service. If you don't like what I'm saying to you, by the way, if you don't like that, I don't know what to tell you, man, but I do not think that they are looking out for your better interest. Okay, you can disagree with me. You've been wrong before, but I don't think that they're looking out for your or my better. So let's get back into the chart. So again, this is what I think is going to end up happening. So we're going to take that off right now. The thing is that this is the important part right here. We have to close a significant gap. I'm going to zoom here just a little bit. That 50 MA that just seems to be cooking along right here has started to move, and I think there's a little swoon here on the upside from this little trip back up here about 8 days into it. Again, I don't think, I was hoping that we wouldn't come back down here, that this was going to be the start of a breakout. It just hasn't been. And by the way, this is the entire market. It's not just Terra Luna Classic. But we're close enough towards what we think is a bottom that it should give us cause for concern, especially considering that we're right there where, this dip right here, like we've been here before. You know what I mean? We were here in August of 2023. We've been here before. We've been even further down, and that could be a test coming pretty soon. I mean, you have to consider, like, where are we based on our bottom? Have we really come very far? 61% from the bottom. Okay, a lot of people are underwater. Now, what does that mean when a lot of people are underwater? It means we're going to have an impressive breakout. Otherwise, we're going to be fighting every step of the way. And what does that mean? Well, here's the unfortunate truth that a lot of people don't want to tell you in this community, but I'm going to tell you. And that is, we're looking at volume flow. And you see where that white line is right there? Okay, that's where you should be concerned. Okay, that is going to represent an enormous amount of resistance. It's going to make it very, very tough. But here's the problem with that. The resistance starts right here at 407. Like, when you look at it right here, what I'm showing you is this volume out here. This is the biggest area of volume, which means that white line right there represents, maybe a maximum level of where we could go. But there's going to be increasing resistance when you get to the top of this range. And this right here, this little move right there at 73, that's exactly where you can see the resistance start to change. See, there's a big gap right here. And what you're looking at is you're looking at that gap. And when that gap reverses and starts to fill up, that's going to be considered the start of your resistance. And it's right there at this line where I'm pointing right now with my arrow. And you can see it going across the page. And guess what? When we look at it from here, and we go to this side over here, guess what you see right up there? You see that we rejected right off of that range right there, right where that white dotted line is. So that's what we're dealing with. That's the resistance area when it starts. So we're going to need literally a God candle to clear these people out. These paper-handed hoes, they are not going to take it lying down. They are going to sell the moment there's an opportunity. What we need to see is really legitimately, I told you we break up here. To break up there, right this point, miracle. What we're looking at is the top of the range. This is when this is where it really gets interesting, because that's still resistance, drops off right there. So that 1288 level, that's where it really comes into play, and that's where it really matters. So the white line right there, as a matter of fact, this node right here, this is where we are, and we've been in there long enough that that's become the support level. There's the resistance level. And then this is where our breakout zone is. We go above 3013. Guess what? The next resistance doesn't come until around 16, 17, 18. And then it's not nearly as much. Like, you can see it. Now, if I take that out and I remove, what we're going to do is remove some of that old stuff. We're going to look at it from a different perspective. See, it comes a little bit different here. We start to see a little resistance at 78. It's not so bad. But we see another one at around 89 and 9 as you go up. Again, it changes as you start to zoom in and get, what you would call granular in the details. And, we move this to our last impulse move. What does that look like? Let's move that. And then you can see right now we're at 6, we're exactly at our, that's the volume node. The next area is going to be right there at 8, which is where it's been resistance. There it is, right there. This spot right here at 9, that's the next big, that's the next big spot. And then all the way up, see that over and over again. I'm getting too deep into this, but I just wanted you guys to see it. Now, let's talk about problems. Volume is only 6 million. Let's talk about problems on USTC. Volume is only 4 million. Folks, we got a problem with volume, and let me show you why this matters. Now, tomorrow, Binance is going to introduce their next burn, right? At this point, we only burned 173 million over the last 7 days. We're not burning anything, okay? We are, look, it's been that bad before, but we need to be so much better than we currently are. And when you look at the supply, just 8 million, we only burned 8 million yesterday, all day. We burned 27 million day before, 20 million day before, 32, 16, and 10. Like, we've been there before. And by the way, look, we've had days like this where it's just, middle of May, we burn a lot, and just kind of, gets listless, if you will. So, we're not out of the woods. We've got to do more. Now, let's talk about a few different things that are happening over here. And we've got to go F yourself, you jealous C. Enjoy the way down, you absolute muppet. And that's greenpeace.bnb. I'm curious, when people redelegate to a validator, do they even look at the commission? I see so many people redelegating to CFL had a small one from our 5.4 to a validator. I don't know really what that means, but probably not a good look. If you're trying to make some more commission off of, look, I understand. I ain't mad at you. Somebody is. Also, again, Binance burns are coming up, and then we have this with Leonardo. Now, this is, you guys might have noticed that I don't have anything to do with Clay. I haven't really talked about it, haven't really addressed too much when it comes to Clay, but please, all you Clay holders, understand that what you have in your wallet is not dust. What? Okay. It was from 0.001 to 0.01. Be vigilant, protect your assets. At the beginning of the month, Clay hit 54 cents. It then grew to 74, but a scammer stole all of an investor's Clay, causing a mini crash, and now here we are again. I'm not just plucking numbers out of thin air. Clay has the potential to become a 50 plus asset with its multiple use and tiny supply. The entire Clay supply is currently only 2.8 million and will continue to shrink due to the 0.25% burn tax. So it's telling you right now that this much. Pepe is 4 billion. No, that's okay. I don't know about that. But Clay market cap is 1.582 with a supply of 2 million. So it's be close to a dollar like that. Something happened over there. Not sure exactly how this all played out. But this is the same thing, by the way, just for full disclosure here. It's the same thing that happened with Mantra, and there's nothing wrong with Mantra as a project. So, it might be a good opportunity for you to scoop up some of that Clay project, and maybe, just maybe, it'll pop off, and that could be a good one for your portfolio. But that's for you to, I'm just giving you the opportunity to check it out. So check it out if you want to. Anyway, that's my show. Thank you so much for tuning in. You might notice some fitness stuff coming. I'm going to be doing some fitness content over the next little while. We'll see how that goes. But I'm going to keep it on this channel because I want this to be my lifestyle channel. My lifestyle right now is cryptocurrency and fitness. So we'll talk to you again soon. It's not financial advice, but I'm always right.